I just wanted to tell you I put myself back on a dating app.
You just might get lucky and run into a nice man. That's all I'm saying.
And I've gathered all of this love since I was in high school.
Welcome to the channel, friends. Today, let's take a closer look at why women continue to divorce their husbands only to bitterly regret it afterward. And what's the value of an older woman on dating apps? But first, I'm counting on your support with a like and subscription.
I've been single my entire life. I'm going to be turning 42 in August, and I've never had anybody love me or desire me or want to be with me. And I have so much love that I feel like that is inside of me with nowhere to go because it can't transfer to friends or my family or my parents because it's something separate, it's something different. And I've gathered all of this love since I was in high school, and then it just sits there and it eats me alive sometimes. And I'm bringing this up, oh my gosh, I just slammed my hand off of that. Sorry, I'm bringing this up because I'm lonely and sad and the world is hard and horrible. And I was thinking this morning that like no one's laid next to me in bed. I've never had the comfort of someone's arms around me. When I've had difficult moments, I've gotten through them by myself most of the time. Now I have a beautiful family of brothers and my mother and my dad when he was alive, and I love them. I'm grateful for them. But there's something different about having somebody that's there for you, next to you, with you, and it's a different kind of loneliness if you've been single all of your life. And I know that there are people who get this. There are people who follow me that get this. But I was thinking about it in terms of just bigger worldly issues as well. The fear of the world and the difficulties that we are seeing. And again, this is minuscule on the level of what some people are facing. But it doesn't mean that it's nothing. And I have to figure out how to deal with these feelings. But the idea that like I don't go home and somebody's there to talk with and cook dinner with, and I have a roommate, but we do our own things, we have our own lives, and again, it's not the same. It's not the same. And I'm always told sometimes as a single person that it's not easier on the other side. And so I guess I just wanted to say to people who get this feeling that you're not alone, and I know that it's difficult, but I also know that there's a certain type of strength that has been developed that I have because of my experiences in my life that has led me to be able to do difficult things. And it's difficult being alone, and it's okay to feel lonely, and it's okay for it to feel hard and scary. So just know that you're not alone, and know that I see you and I'm there with you, and I'm still seeking to find ways to make it easier for myself. And I really, really do wish to make it easier for others. So if you're lonely, know that I'm sorry, and know that I'm sitting in the lonely with you.
She portrays herself as so unhappy and unwanted. But I don't believe she's been celibate all this time, right? She's had men, obviously not just one, yet for some reason, she's still alone. Surely, when she was younger, she tried out plenty of men in search of her ideal. And the ideal prince decided he'd rather go fishing with his dog. What's most likely is that on dating apps, his age limit is set to 30.
Women say they're single and happy. It's one of the saddest things to hear, right? You all have been in relationships before, right? With someone you were close with. Maybe you chose wrong, because that's what it is. You made a choice. No one forced you into those relationships. And all we're in control of is our decisions. You can complain about them being this, them doing, I'm not saying they didn't do bad things, etc., but you chose, right? And hopefully when they were doing bad things, you chose out. But you're not a victim of these relationships, right? So when I hear people are single and happy, no, you're not. Right? You're a woman, number one, so women strive for commitment more than men up front, right? You care about emotional intimacy. So what are you outsourcing it to? What are you caring about? Your job? Getting results for who? From some boss, so that's also a weird connection that gives you some validation. Your girlfriends who are in the same position as you? Travel so you can turn your brain off with some alcohol and some sights, aka a pet, a pseudo boyfriend. Like a dude is supposed to take you on trips. A dude's supposed to be your boyfriend, cuddle with you, take care of you, emotionally support you, and provide for you. Your boss is supposed to be your dude as well, in the sense of giving you resources, right? So why do you see it as a weakness to say that it sucks being single, especially as a woman? What? I don't understand. I'm not saying men don't equally want relationships, but in terms of the initial angling, like if you can't even admit at the beginning that the little girl inside you wants to be held and loved by someone you respect, you're done for.
A lot of quote-unquote nice guys out there will often say, I'm a nice guy, I'm intelligent, I'm kind, I'm understanding, and I'm super loyal to a woman. And lo and behold, women, doesn't matter to them. It's statistically insignificant to them if you're kind, understanding, loyal, or intelligent. If you have a piece of paper on the wall that's framed in mahogany with little letters after your name, that's good. You could be dumb as shit, you could have a degree, and that's good for them. But real intelligence doesn't really matter.
Yes, he's partially right. The value of intelligence among women these days is extremely low. They care more about your bank account than how tolerant you are or how much you respect women. The bottom line is, if you're a dreamboat with money, she'll tolerate any crap and disrespect because money has power over her. That's all there is to it. A rich bad boy will always take precedence over a well-mannered and pleasant middle-class man.
The man who works in Starbucks, who's sad all the time, you won't reply to him. Neither will any other female. So for women to come along and pretend they give a about the fact that most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4, overweight, fat, you'll still go to the club and get attention. 99% of the men go to the club and nobody even fucking talks to them. If they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and told to. Most men are absolutely and utterly invisible. This is the truth about masculinity, right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men. Because I must say, well, this guy is arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. So if you just sit here and say, I'll get a G, a big G, a boss, a millionaire, and let him have a day off, very nice of you. Sure you would. But if a guy who wanted to have days off all the time, he never would have got important enough in the first place to attract a woman like you. And that is the reality. As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do the deed. That's how it is.
Gambia wants old British women to stop coming for sex in the country. The Gambia has issued a warning to old women from the United Kingdom who flock the country to find toy boys to look elsewhere. West African country has been known in recent years for its sex-up reputation, where older British women will typically go on holiday in search of younger men. But Gambian officials are putting a stop to this industry, having announced they want to end the habit of people heading to the country with the sole aim of just sex. Speaking on the menace, the director of the Gambia Tourism Board, Abubakar Kamara, said, and I quote, "What we want is quality tourists. Tourists that come to enjoy the country and the culture, but not tourists that come just for sex." Kamara explained that the former British colony aims to now move away from older female tourists in a bid to shift its reputation, which has previously been dubbed as a real-life tender dream for geriatrics by some. Gambia gained independence in 1965, with sex tourism making an increase in the 1990s after Thomas Cook launched budget tours and cheap flights to the destination. Young sex workers, otherwise known by locals as beach boys, have long been reported escorting older women out of clubs to spend the night together. Most Gambian men who do work with older women in this way have been reportedly enticed into the industry by the lack of jobs and low wages in the country, where they can instead earn £200 for just 1 day of work, which equals a month's salary. They are said to search the white sand beaches for older women who hail from the Netherlands, Sweden, and Germany, as well as the United Kingdom. A few of the encounters are arranged online before the women's arrive.
If the situation in the country weren't so bleak, sex tourism wouldn't be so prevalent. But overall, the situation is quite telling, isn't it? A lonely elderly woman just wants some hot young love, but all she can get is some illegal sex tourism during her vacation. And the number of such women only highlights the scale of the problem. Back home, no man would even glance at an elderly woman with a bunch of psychological traumas, ailments, and other issues. Why sniff a dried herbarium when you can enjoy freshly cut flowers? I think the analogy is clear to everyone.
Hey fellas, a nice pair of shoes and some good smelling cologne scores you some points.
Why are you single?
When I like them, they don't like me. When they like me, I don't like them.
Sex and the City writer Candace Bushnell, 60 years old, admits she regrets choosing a career over having children as she is now truly alone. This is exactly why older women need to teach younger women. By the time it strikes you, it's too late. Even the smartest women don't realize how much their value decreases every time a new guy plows them. Modern women are absolutely self-destructive. It's amazing. Choosing career over family and marriage without a permanent man in their lives, otherwise known as a husband. Job, ladies. Good job. Women, stop fucking up relationships with good men. Stop it. Stop your avoidant nonsense. All of your running. The grass is not greener on the other side. It never is. It might be more fun for a moment, but it's never greener. Keep building up your body count. Sucking new... having a new man enter you. Kissing new faces. What you need is to find yourself a good man who will make you a wife and a mother. You hang on to him.
Older men like relationships with super young women for only two reasons. One, they are adult children themselves and thus are irresponsible, and women their own age wouldn't tolerate their shenanigans. Good point. And number two, the power imbalance between an adult dating a child results in a child partner who can be groomed and will think the relationship patterns are normal because they don't have the life experience to know any different.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, well, I think that's a big point. Because you imagine you're 19 years old, you've never, this dating, all that stuff, you're somewhat new to it, and then you, 60-year-old or grown-ass man comes around, there's a bunch of red flags, but you don't see them because you're not aware of that, because you never experienced them. Meanwhile, if this guy was dating someone, a woman his own age, or even close to it, she wouldn't pull up with that shit.
Yes, he's probably right. It works both ways. A young partner might actually be satisfied with such an arrangement and willing to tolerate some drawbacks, as youth tends to be more flexible in many aspects. Therefore, an older wealthy man has much better chances of finding a young, materialistic companion than an older woman does. This is obvious, so these women are practically doomed to a lonely and most likely poor old age.
Okay, y'all, so word on the street is that if the men's is, the males is and things is at Home Depot. So, you know, I used to do a lot of stuff. I used to get a lot of stuff from, like, you know, Target and stuff. But do you realize they have, like, washing powder, buckets, mops, brooms, all kinds of stuff at Home Depot. So, ladies, let me put you up on game. Stop getting that stuff from Target and start going to Home Depot and pick up those things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because you just might get lucky and run into a nice man. That's all I'm saying. I didn't realize they had so much stuff at Home Depot, y'all. Stop getting dishwashing detergent and all that. They sell all that stuff at Home Depot. So I'm about to go up in here, right? And get me dishwashing stuff, you know, just some stuff, look around and things of that nature. All right, y'all.
The court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I have not gone to pick it up yet because I don't want to. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I loved being married.
Apparently, she is not okay with being alone. But what did she expect to happen after divorcing her husband? She should be prepared for this, and this is the other side of divorce they hide from modern women. They don't prepare them for this stage. And this is why there are countless videos of modern women who left their husbands complaining about the same thing.
I know that I will get through this and move forward, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
I wonder what the reason for the divorce was. If she initiated the divorce and now regrets it, that's a total mess. Women don't value their husbands in marriage at all, and as soon as he leaves, waves of regret start rolling in. Of course, no one will pay for your house, food, and other expenses now. No one will hug you sincerely at night and reassure you that you're not fat and still beautiful. All these are the little and big joys of marriage and long-term relationships, which won't be found in random hookup dates.
Are there no high-value men where you live, or are you just not able to attract them? Because honestly, this is what everyone says. There's no high-value men in my city. There's no one good. But if everyone says that, how could it be true? Whenever we say, oh, there's no one, we're just blanketing a statement to get ourselves off the hook. If you were to redo your dating profile, grab my freebie. The link's in the bio. Online dating profile mistakes you're making that are keeping you single. I guarantee you would attract more high-value men. Because it's just impossible, given the numbers, that there's no one good where you live. Like, that would mean every single person where you live, all the men are losers. That just makes no sense at all. You just need to learn how to attract them. And I can teach you. I have a free dating strategy guide tonight. It's a masterclass, totally free. Message me for deeds, or...
I just wanted to tell you I put myself back on a dating app. Here's what I'm doing differently. I'm just saying I'm doing differently. Is I am not looking for matches. I am waiting for the matches to come to me, right? So then if they like me, and it's only on one app, it's a free app. If they like me and I think it's a match, I'll like them back. And then I wait for them to do the conversation. I wait for them to start. It's like crickets. They don't start. I'm not starting the conversation, people. It's kind of like if you open the door for me. No, wait, that's a bad analogy. It's kind of like if you wave to me and I wave back, you're waving to me because you want to start a conversation, I would think, but you're not. You're just hanging out. I don't care. I'm just going to wait.
In that case, you're almost doomed to wait endlessly. The more men you've been with, the worse it gets. And yet women keep trying endlessly without considering more available options. Despite nearing the consistency of dried apricots, they continue searching for a juicy mango. But, you know, a juicy mango pairs better with tender, juicy papaya rather than a dried apricot.